Tonight, the president of the St. Lucia Football Association says there will be no resignation on his part amid the qualifier fiasco. The SLFA debacle takes another twist, with the president now saying that death threats are being made against the association. And the Justice Minister makes a case to apply existing death penalty laws. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 26th of March, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A special hello to all our viewers on Plug and Play, our digital antenna. We know we are your only source for television, and we thank you for all of the great feedback. In tonight's news, after the announcement was made that St. Lucia's national football team would not be participating in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, the St. Lucia Football Association held a press conference Friday morning to explain the reason behind this decision. They hope to correct the misconceptions that led to unrest within the local sporting sector. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our reporting.
The executive of the St. Lucia Football Association has finally broken their silence to the media following a few days of unrest within the sporting sector caused by the sudden announcement earlier this week that St. Lucia would not be participating in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. One day after the announcement was made, local footballers and their supporters descended upon the office of the SLFA in Leclerc, demanding answers as to why this decision was made so suddenly without consultation of the players who were hoping to be part of the tournament. SLFA President Lyndon Cooper began by profusely apologizing to all those affected by the decision.
I want to extend, on behalf of my technical director, Jamal Shabazz, my GS and myself, for an apparent lack of communication between you, the media, and us at the St. Lucia Football Association. Please accept our sincere apology. And secondly, if was anything said or not said from my General Secretary, my Technical Director, and Jamal Shabazz, and I personally, that would have offended anybody, including the media, players, fans, the government of St. Lucia, please accept our sincere apology.
Cooper then proceeded to explain the reason behind the decision.
At no point did the St. Lucia Football Association consented to playing any World Cup qualifier in 2021. Our journey for Qatar ended when we moved from 2nd division to 4th division. There was nothing on the table. And I want to make it abundantly clear. The St. Lucia Football Association did not ask the government of St. Lucia for any permission for its team to play. That was never on the table. Why? When we discussed our participation in the new format to start in 2020, that tournament was pushed back twice because of COVID.
Cooper lamented the fact that St. Lucia remains disadvantaged due to a lack of a home ground, among other issues.
St. Lucia is the only Caribbean country in the Commonwealth whose Citizenship Act does not make provision for a 4th generation. All the players we are getting are 4th generation players. FIFA and CONCACAF was in communication as far back as December with the Office of the General Secretary, by extension my office, as to where is your home venue. We indicated we did not have our own venue and we were sourcing somewhere in the Caribbean. Now, somewhere in the Caribbean has a quarantine period. And FIFA has indicated any country with a quarantine period more than 5 days, it's a no-show. You have to play your game outside. The only 3 countries we knew at the time that were drawn to our attention was Nicaragua, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. But you must also know that the group we were placed in, all those countries had a home venue, except St. Lucia. And none of those teams was prepared to forego their venue to accommodate us.
Cooper said by the first week in February, the SLFA informed FIFA that it was having challenges with the venue and transport of international players and training due to protocols, and so St. Lucia would not be able to consent to participation. He said at no time did he make any individual decision to withdraw or forfeit St. Lucia. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The president of the St. Lucia Football Association is making it clear that he has no intentions of stepping down following calls for his resignation over the St. Lucia FIFA qualifiers. Lyndon Cooper says unless he is removed, he is here to stay.
Local footballers caused the scene in La Clery on Wednesday morning as they descended upon the head office of the St. Lucia Football Association to express their anger, shock and disappointment in them losing out on the opportunity to take part in this year's FIFA World Cup qualifiers. During the protest, calls were made for the resignation of the SLFA president Lyndon Cooper. He was asked on Friday whether he would be taking such actions. This was his response.
I have 2.5 years left in that term of office. I have no intentions to not completing my 2.5 years left. It's my intention when I meet my membership, which is the 19th of it, sometime on Saturday next week or at the annual Congress, to indicate the date of my departure in football, whether forced or voluntary.
Cooper has served 3 terms as the SLFA's president. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The members of the St. Lucia Football Association have taken threats against them seriously and are taking extra measures to secure themselves. The SLFA president says he is not worried because he is confident in the security measures put in place to protect the association.
The decision to not give consent for St. Lucian footballers to play in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers took a sinister twist when the executive of the St. Lucia Football Association received death threats, among other threats of violence. This matter was addressed by President of the SLFA on Friday during a press conference. Lyndon Cooper said he is not scared because he has received worse threats than the ones made against him and his team since the news broke.
I saw a Facebook post that said, "You come and flat my tires." I got a call. The team then said, "We go shoot you." What I've done is to step up the security around me personal. I'm accustomed to that comes with the responsibility. If I die in the process, before I do that, I will give you, Dave, a list of persons I don't want to come to my funeral.
Cooper said he has no issues with the protest being held, but he feels that a line was crossed.
I think the players, if they choose to protest because they believe that they have been ill-treated, that's a decision that they have to make. But I have a fundamental problem when that stimulates into threats.
The SLFA president said the protest in itself is not an SLFA matter. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Stay with us. Still to come, is the death penalty the answer to the current spike in violent crime? A one-woman protest for protection of women given increased gender-based crimes. And the National Students' Council cautions the Ministry of Education not to repeat mistakes of the past.